Good morning and good afternoon, wherever you may be today as you tune in. And thank you for joining us. For those who have joined us for the first time, this webinar series is focused on HR and workplace topics with a lens of talent, workplace culture, DEI, and sustainability. I'm Sonia Sepaban, CEO of OurOffice, where we help organizations with the planning, managing, measuring, and engaging of everyone to drive an inclusive, learning, and thriving organization. Today, I'm super excited to talk about L&D, which is typically the largest discretionary line item in HR budgets. But before we get there, let's make sure we cover a few housekeeping items. We use a Zoom webinar tool, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with, but I want to make sure that we make this as interactive as possible. So please use the chat function to provide any comments or questions you may have. I have my colleague, Anushka Sarif, moderating the questions in real time and chiming in as needed. So thanks in advance, Anushka. Also, please note this session is being recorded and will be available after the webinar on our events page at ouroffice.io/events. Last but not least, for sure, this webinar is approved for both SHRM and HRCI credits, and we'll share the activity codes later on. All right. So as we said, L&D tends to be the largest discretionary line item in HR budgets. So let's start with the dollars and cents in terms of the annual L&D spend per employee. As you can see here, a recent study shows that about a third of all organizations spend anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per year on L&D per employee. Another third spend between $1,000 and $3,000, and a third spend over $3,000. Feel free to share in the chat if you think these numbers seem familiar to you. You're below that, above that, or any other comment you want to make about this data. But it's interesting, right? It shows, of course, that this is a significant line item in HR budgets. Clearly, there's a correlation with the size of the organization and the type of work they do in terms of how much they spend. But if you think of a small organization, relatively small, about 500 employees, L&D is a significant budget line item. This data would show that at the low end, right, at $500 per employee per year, that an organization of 500 would spend about $250,000 a year. So what's the biggest problem, though, with making sure this L&D budget is used effectively and really creates results? Well, here's a little bit of bad news, but don't worry, we're going to fix this in a moment and have some solutions for you too. But the problem is the forgetting curve. This is a curve that a German psychologist, Hermann Ebbinghaus, came up with in 1885. His work showed that we forget exponentially. And that means that we forget about 80% of everything that we learned in the first week after that learning was transmitted, or went to a training course or something, or read something. And within 30 days, we will have forgotten about 90% of it. That's, of course, without any intervention or any tools or anything to intervene with this forgetting, right? So you're going to tell me, what's the cost of that? Well, there is a real cost associated with this forgetting. One of the outcomes is non-compliance, which on average costs about $15 million in annual cost at a typical business. And about 96% of all CEOs say that their organization has suffered some kind of an adverse outcome due to the lack of a needed employee skill or knowledge. So again, this goes back to L&D and really sustained learning so that these adverse outcomes don't happen. What's more, and I don't want to pile on here, but I'm going to have to share with you that on top of all of this, we've had the perfect storm in the last few years. First, we had the pandemic. Psychologists have started talking about something that they refer to as PTSD-like effects of the pandemic, where all of us are to some degree suffering from having dealt with a significant and unexpected adverse situation, which has impacted our attention spans and cognitive abilities. So L&D is more important than ever. Hybrid work also is another factor, right? And it's the new normal. It's very popular with many employees, but creates additional challenges for L&D, as many employees may have never been in a real workplace, and others are missing out on the positive learning and reinforcement opportunities that the physical workplaces naturally offer. There's also been a significant shift in people's preferences for the type of work they do and the flexibility of hybrid work that offers them. It creates a lot more opportunities for them. So this has led to labor shortage in many industries, which in turn has caused them to adopt the strategy of hiring basically whoever they can with some minimum requirements and then training them for their openings. So this also adds to the criticality of an effective L&D program. So by now you're saying, okay, so how do we make L&D work better? All right, so here we go in terms of given how important L&D is to any organization, given the forgetting curve that we have to all deal with, and these specifics of the pandemic, the hybrid work, and the labor shortage, this perfect storm that we're in the middle of. How do we make L&D work better? And here are a few factors to make it work better. The first factor that a lot of studies refer to is to make it short and fun, because we're all too busy and our attention spans are shorter than ever. I'm going to suggest here in a bit with a tool I'm going to show you that the right amount of time for learning is a minute. That's all you need, a minute. So we'll get to that in a minute, hopefully. But that's what we're going to contend. But let's see what the second factor is. The second factor is that it's a proven strategy, right, to offer rewards to engage the team in the learning process. But rewards take time to select, to offer to all employees, and they lose their effectiveness when people get bored with the rewards, right? Well, wrong. We'll show, again, a way to make offering rewards quick and easy and engaging in a way that can be very effective. And finally, last but not least, it's about repetition to make sure that the learning sticks. This means reminding ourselves and our teams about what we learned, measuring what may have been forgotten, and adjusting the learning tools until we have what we call sustained learning. By now, you're guessing there's, of course, a cool tool that does all this. And you're right, there is. And this is the first time that we're sharing it broadly. It is called Trivi. So let me introduce Trivi to you. Trivi creates bite-sized trivia on any of your content, like your training materials, handbooks, policies, benefits documents, everything that you want your employees to know and retain. It creates bite-sized trivia on all this content with AI in under a minute. And the Trivi, or this bite-sized trivia that is generated, is always also timed. So it's timed to be under a minute for someone who takes it as well. So a minute for you to make it, and then a minute for your employees to take it. And also has rewards to ensure engagement. It has rewards that are already, there's a list that you can pick from, so it's not hard to go think of some, and it manages and calculates, who actually won. So all you have to do is just decide that you want to have a reward, and you can do it in very easily and effectively. It's also a fun way, right? Trivia is fun to connect with employees. They may be hybrid, may be distributed across many locations, and it tends to spark their curiosity. And the reason that's really important is that they will want to learn even beyond what you have planned in your L&D program. And that's ultimately what you really want. We talked about repetition being important for learning to combat that forgetting curve. So this tool also makes it super easy for you to generate as many trivias as you like, monthly, weekly, or even daily, to reinforce learning, because it takes such a short amount of time, just a minute, to create it. So you can do it all the time. And last but not least, of course, you want to have insights about how it's working. So you have a real-time dashboard to track progress, get insights, so that you can adjust things as needed along the way and get the results that you want. Okay. So here are the factors. Again, short period of time, under a minute. It's timed so that the person who's taking it also has under a minute and also has rewards for engagement. It's fun. It's easy to do frequently and to repeat, and also real-time dashboards. Now, I've talked a lot about this, and it's time to play. So everybody ready for this? We're going to start a game, a trivia game. And to do that, what we're going to do is go to the McKinsey site here that you can see. This is the McKinsey D&I site. Okay. And there's a bunch of articles here. They change these articles all the time. And this is to demonstrate that this can be done in real time. And so what I want to ask everybody is to decide, or, if you like, in the chat, tell me which of these articles you'd like to create a trivia on. So we're going to give this just a second or a few seconds just to see if anybody wants to put anything in. So we have an input on Women Matter, which is this last one. See if anybody else has any other ones that they want to suggest here. All right, well, we're going to go with the one that we got from one person here, Women Matter. So this is the article. I'm going to click on it and go to it. Here is the article. So this could be the equivalent of any document you have with some good amount of text, right? You can see all of that. So I'm going to just copy the URL for this. And now we are going to show you the tool. So get ready. Here's the tool. We don't have time to demo everything here. If anyone is interested, we're happy to do that afterwards, my team and myself. But you can see there's a bunch of trivias here already. There's some stats on, when it was created, the number of questions, the responses, the average time it's taken people, the average score, and so on. But let's go create a trivia. So we'll say that trivia we want it to be AI generated. Now you could also have a custom trivia where you can decide on the questions. We're going to name it the webinar trivia. And we're going to decide maybe to have 3 questions. We could have up to 5, as you saw there. And you have various ways for your content to select from for creating a trivia. It could be a library that you've already uploaded files. You could upload a file right now. We could just cut and paste some text, but we're going to select this web page option. And we're going to just copy here the URL that we just got from the McKinsey site. Okay, and we're going to click here, generate. And so here we're coming back and we're seeing, hopefully this comes through in the sharing of the screen here, but it is, as you see, it was creating it. And now it says questions generated successfully. So how long was that? That wasn't even a minute, right? It was a few seconds. So here's our webinar trivia. And so what we're going to do is go to it. Again, there's many features here that I can demo, or one of my colleagues can if you're interested. But let's go to share. And here's a QR code for this trivia. You could right now take it. Anyone who wants to take it could just scan this QR code right after we publish it. So we've published it now. And I'm going to copy the link to it. There's many ways, again, to share it. But I'm going to put the link here to everyone. I hope that everyone can see in the chat the link that I just put in. And so anyone can now go in there and take this. We're going to give it a minute because that's how long it takes. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back to this screen, but to just not distract you all. But let's see if anybody would like to take it. And we'll see if we get some results with that. And here's the trivia. So again, the link has been put in there. So please take a look at it and take it if you're able to. And now you can take it. So let's just see how we'll take it. We'll say, let's do it. Which is one of the identified constraints on women's professional progress? I'm just going to select one. I'm not sure if it's right or wrong. What percentage of top women managers are the sole overseers of the household? I'm going to say 43%. We'll see. What percentage of women in senior management positions participate in international programs? Maybe I'll say 9%. And oh, I got all of them wrong. So that was just me. But hopefully the rest of you have had better luck with that. I'm going to now go here and look at the actual results. So we actually had 5 submissions. We had 1 drop off. Someone, I just tried to take it, but wasn't able to. And so here are the results. The right answer, nobody got it, the leaky pipeline. We can see that 60% thought the gas ceiling. So I was one of them. And some thought it was gender stereotypes. What percentage of top women are the sole overseer of the household? The right answer was 39%. And then you have the last one, what percentage of women in senior management position participate in national programs? The right answer is 2%. So, and most of us said 9%. So again, here you can see which questions most people are missing. You could adjust your L&D program. And there's many other ways. You can also look at the results, by individuals and so on. There's many different ways to look at things. But that's a little summary of how this tool works. You saw how quickly it generated it, how easy it is to share it, and then also to take it. So with that, let me go to a little bit about how it's different, right? So a lot of you, of course, have a lot of survey tools, I'm sure. For example, SurveyMonkey, Kahoot, and others that you may be using. And I'd say that those tools are, they work good, but they're your parents' old car. And this is the hot new wheels on the block. So what do I mean? First, the most important thing is speed in a car, right? As it is here with your L&D program. It always takes less than a minute to make a trivia and also for your team to take it. So it drastically reduces the most important investment you have to make, which is time. Going from an hour or so minimum with those tools to a minute with the trivia is really a game changer. Second, when people take it, like you just did, it's trivia fun. So another survey or quiz, that's just rarely what people think is any fun. Also, the data shows the outcome is sustained learning, engagement, and everyone thriving together. And last but not least, what's simply not possible with any other tool we're aware of on the market is that it goes beyond learning. It actually has been shown to create a level of curiosity, which means your team will want to learn on their own. So these factors are really why top performing leaders get results with this approach. And so what are some of those results? Where here's what they see on average, 70% more sustained learning. Again, this is beyond the 30 days, 2 times better engagement, and a 15% reduction in their L&D budgets because they're able to get better learning, and it's pretty simple and pretty inexpensive in terms of investment of time or money for that matter to create that learning, so that you don't have to repeat or do more other things or suffer the consequences. So that's really a key benefit. And then again, what's priceless is that they also report an increasing curiosity, people just asking questions and people learning on their own, which is really priceless. So we've covered a lot of ground here. I want to tell you, what's next, right? So if you're intrigued and at least want to explore what it may look like to join these top performing leaders that we talked about, there are a couple of next steps here that you can take. You can schedule a demo by emailing me. The URL is gotrivi.com, and my first name is Sonia with a Y. You can sign up for the basic plan. The basic plan is free. It gives you 1 seat and up to 100 responses per month. So you can go trivi.com/pricing page will give you that. And you can also just try it on our website. On the website, gotrivi.com, there is a button where you can also just try, and you'll see things like this. For example, here you see this as try Trivi. You can do a category Trivi or a custom Trivi, and you can see these different topics. You can put any topic in and generate a Trivi for yourself. So there's a lot of different ways to have a great and awesome last few days of the year and a very happy holiday season. We thank you for joining us. I know that it's very busy for everyone, but thank you for joining us. And it's a pleasure to end a very successful year again with all of you. And we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.